Where there was once the real, there is now only the electronic generation and circulation of almost supernatural simulations. Where there was once stable human consciousness, there are now only the ghosts of fragmented, decentered, and increasingly schizophrenic subjectivities. Where there once was depth and affect, there is now only surface. Where there was once meaning, history, and a solid realm of signifieds, there is now only a haunted landscape of vacant and shifting signifiers. Jeffrey Sconce. The internet has brought us together while separating us at the same time. It made us more knowledgeable while dumbing us down. It made us aware of the world while lowering our attention spans. It has also convinced us to feel as if we are sociable while sitting alone at home. But how do you know those you are talking to are there? When faced with the possible existence of a ghost, or a malfunction or glitch in our ordered normality, many people would retreat in fear. If this occurred within the digital world we plug into daily, how could we tell? The internet acts like a 21st century Ouija board. While chatting or messaging on social media platforms, message boards, chat forums, and so on, one will feel as though they are in the presence of real people. However, it is more than likely that one is communicating with digital avatars and superficial surrogates sent in advance of the real thing. One could even become convinced to be having a meaningful conversation, full of emotions and feelings for the other, without ever knowing if the other is even real. Feeling social while alone can be eerie and confounding since you feel surrounded by invisible entities who can be felt but are completely absent. There are 21st century ghosts, freed from their bodies and set free to glide through cyberspace at lightning speed and with startling precision. As we stand in the darkness of the internet, calling one another and reuniting with friends and followers, we're all just playing in the game, acting out our parts accordingly. Staring into the darkness of the internet, you will eventually see that there is nothing there but the dead gaze of a digital replica. Upon powering up our computers and portable devices, we call out to one another amidst the darkness of the internet, reuniting and connecting with friends and followers. We seldom see digital smoke and mirrors behind the screen. There is nothing there in the dark except the dead gaze of a copy. But with a minor change in perception, one will see through the black abyss a lonesome reflection of oneself staring back, haunted and cheated into believing in something unreal, and at the same time, desperately wanting to return to that disillusioned world. Western culture is haunted by a multitude of ghosts, including digital copies of ourselves, nameless online commenters, and echoes of historical events and personal memories. The information age has intensified our fascination with the past. While digital ghosts expose the imperfections of our technology, we're unsettled when they seem to act on their own. We're also uneasy encountering anonymous virtual identities with the millions of chatbots that litter the web. Our reliance on technology and belief in its redemption shift the focus from humans as the center of experience. This shift is hard to grasp, and we fear disruptions to our ordered reality. We live in the manufactured illusion that we are still separate from our media extensions, when in fact we are mere outsiders, stumbling aimlessly through a spectral world not meant for us. The World Wide Web isn't the only electronic medium that acts as a gateway to the other side, and certainly wasn't the first either. Thomas Edison invented the phonograph, which was initially created as a means of speaking to the dead. However, like the light bulb, Edison had stolen the idea from fellow inventor Nikola Tesla. Unlike Tesla, Edison's ego would not let Tesla have this one, so he went to the press. Since this idea seemed impossible to the masses, how did his spirit box seem legit back then, and why is it still used today? With the phonograph, he has already performed the miracle of bringing the voices of dead souls to the living. With the radio being a big deal, and the idea of information traveling wirelessly through time and space, with technology you couldn't see or touch, people flocked to it. Their thinking at the time had figured, if you could hear live humans through a box, why not dead ones? Unfortunately for Edison, his spirit phone was a flop. Tesla's spirit box is still used today by our modern-day ghost hunters. If you want to hear and even see a dead person, all you have to do is turn on the television. On television, you can find every celebrity that has recently passed or has been long dead for decades. But it goes further than that. Encountering a haunted electronic medium involves facing the eerie in all its gaps. Whether it's the distorted notes of a vinyl record or the visual anomalies on a finicky television screen, we're immediately struck by their ghostly qualities. The malfunction, real or perceived, highlights a disconnect between the medium and its intended message, evoking a sense of horror due to the electronic media's tendency to glitch and disrupt. In the past, analog electronic media, like early radio and television, were particularly susceptible to manifesting these spectral effects. Unlike the smooth digital forms we know today, the low-definition interfaces of yesteryears allowed static and poor resolution to interrupt the transmission of sound and image. Moments like when a radio signal fades and a fuzzy, static-filled channel emerges make it appear as if the radio has acted independently, revealing a propensity for malfunction beyond our assumptions. Similar to ghostly relics of haunted tales, malfunctioning electronic media take on the role of autonomous interfaces, operating seemingly on their own, or guided by an unseen force with minimal human interaction. Rather than merely extending the nervous system, haunted electronic media seem to transcend it. This transcendence implies that these media, such as radios and televisions, possess the capacity to create their independent spirit worlds. In essence, these media appear haunted by internal ghosts residing within the electronics themselves. Ghosts deceivingly represent transcendence, yet their true message is the void, the demise, of the entities they pretend to be. They are voids within the fabric of meaningful reality that epitomize the tangible embodiment of meaninglessness. Consequently, devices like the television, phonograph, and radio often appear as if they harbor ghosts, a portrayal mirrored in fiction and movies, such as Poltergeist, because they mediate information. These media forms introduce gaps between the information they convey and their electronic nature, creating the sensation that an imperceptible energy animates them. The movie Poltergeist tells of outside forces entering the safe enclosure of a typical suburban home and corrupting the balance of family life during a time when the media fueled fears of children being kidnapped and a satanic panic. And the conduit through which the ghosts enter in the film is the television, or the medium of the dead. In the film, events within the Freelings' residence carry the 1980s anxiety surrounding the potent influence and eerie ubiquity of television to a chilling climax. Poltergeist effectively harnesses society's deep-seated skepticism of electronic media, allowing it to remain relevant over time. This is evident from its 2015 remake, which adeptly adjusted the narrative to mirror our contemporary screen-centric surroundings. In the realm of chronicling the interaction between electronic media and the supernatural, few books match the accuracy of Jeffrey Sconce's Haunted Media Electronic Presence from Telegraphy to Television. The book delves into the historical connection between electronic media and the occult, ranging from communicating with the deceased via radio to the apprehensions surrounding TVs in our households. Sconce's work proposes that electronic media have often been seen as pathways to realms beyond. Commencing with the advent of telegraphy and the emergence of spiritualism, Sconce traces the timeline of electronic media's eerie inclination to seem haunted. Particularly, he emphasizes how visual media like television foreground this eerie quality, given that the specters of television seem to be embedded within the technology itself, akin to ghosts within the televisual mechanism. Sconce points out, sound and image without material substance, the electronically mediated worlds of telecommunications often evoke the supernatural by creating virtual beings that appear to have no physical form. By bringing this spectral world into the home, the TV set in particular can take on the appearance of a haunted apparatus.